Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, as you probably read by the title, I will be doing enemies to lovers book recommendations. So without further ado, let's get started. I just wanted to do a little disclaimer before starting. These books, some of them may have triggering points, so look that up before reading any of these books. I don't remember which one have and which one don't have, so look at your own warning. But let's start with my most recent one that I read, and it's my most recent 5-star reads, and that is Only You by E. Salvador. I will put a cover right here, but this book was everything. So basically, I read the first book, which is exactly this one, at the beginning of the year, and I was obsessed with it. Secret baby, second chance kind of thing. And in here we see that two of the characters don't like each other, which is Juliana and Landon, and they kind of are forced upon because both of their friends are now together and they have the same circle of friends. So in here we see that Juliana had an issue with her apartment, and she's in college, so she had to move out, and two of the girls that she met through her friend are like, oh, we can be roommates, and both of those girls are best friends with Landon. Landon is this British grumpy guy. He's extremely grumpy. He's in the basketball team and they just hate each other, but Juliana is struggling with school and she tells her friends, and they're like, oh, well, Landon is a good tutor. At the beginning she's really reluctant because she's like, I really don't like this guy and he will probably use it against me and just mock me. But at the end she caves. She's like, okay, and they start this tutoring thing, and it's a slow burn. Enemies to lovers, obviously, tutoring, and I feel like it's he falls first and harder. This was so good, like it's so good. Oh, forced proximity as well. That's why they really had to spend time with each other. They're in the same circle, as well as she needed help with her classes. So 5 stars. It was amazing. Then The Long Game by Elena Armas. She's really known from her debut novel, which is The Spanish Love Deception, and this one, it's about Cameron and Adeline. Adeline is part of the organization of the Miami Flames, which is a soccer team, and she gets into a kind of scandal, and her father's like, you know what, we're going to send you away. We don't want the team get negative attention from the press and all of that, and he sends her away. She's like, okay, I'm going to meet this new team, make it better, only to realize that it's a team of 9 years old, and the coach of that team is a retired goalie, and they don't get along because I don't remember what it was that happened, but she was kind of rude to him, vice versa, and they just didn't get along, and it was cute. I feel like it's a quick book. It's good to get out of a reading slump, and enemies to lovers, which we love here. Then Meet Your Match by Candy Stainer. I've read a previous series by this author, loved it. I was like, oh my god, I'm obsessed with her writing, and this proved it even more because this is another series by this author. This is the first book it's the Kings of the Eye series, and this was so good. This is about Vince and Maven, and Vince is a hockey player. I don't remember if he's the captain, but Maven is part of this social media company, let's say, but she does a lot of things like fashion, all of those things, and the company she works at is like, yeah, you would be doing an exclusive 1 month following a hockey player and getting all the juice and the details. She's like, oh, okay, only to realize that it's Vince. They met at an event and she was like, oh, he's such a typical hockey player, probably rich, cocky, and he thinks he's better than everyone and gets probably all the girls he wants. And she was rude to him. So that's where the enemies to lovers come to, and the forced proximity, because they have to be a month together. She has to be like his shadow and get the exclusive for the media and all of that. And this was really good. Like, I annotate the crap out of this. This was a 5-star for me. I read it last year. yeah, last year. And I sometimes think about it and I would probably reread it. It was really, really good. This is a book that I read at the beginning of this year. It came out last year, but I read it at the beginning of this one. And I think it was one of my first 5 stars of the year. And that is Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. This, as you can see, is a chunky book and it's a slow burn. But this is about Dalia and Julian. And they know each other because their moms are best friends. Like, all their families are, like, they're in each other's business. You know, they've seen each other all their lives. But where the enemies and kind of rivals starts, it's always been like, oh, I did better in this thing. No, I did better in this. And they always had this competition since they were younger. Then Dalia moved away and she recently came back to the small town they're from to kind of heal because she was in a long-term relationship and she isn't anymore, and she was healing. And Julian's mom is like, you know what, why don't you involve her in the project that you have to, because he owns a construction company and she is an interior designer. So forced proximity, that's for sure. But I love this. It's slow burn, enemies to lovers. It's just so good. I really enjoyed it and I'm obsessed. And last but not least, another 5-star reads. I've realized that, well, I always known I really like this trope. I didn't think I had that many 5-star reads that were enemies to lovers, but whatever. This is The Dixon Rule by Al Kennedy. She is the queen of hockey. I love her. And this is a second book in a series, or interconnected standalones, but this is about Diana and Shane. So in the first book, which is The Graham Effect, we see that they don't like each other. And basically Shane in the first book went through a breakup and he's like, yeah, I'm totally fine, but his way of coping with said breakup is sleep around. And he happened to sleep with a lot of cheerleaders, and Diana is one of them. And one of her cheerleading teammates gets into kind of an accident and it's out for the season, and all because she was so like enamored with Shane. So Diana is like, I hate this guy. He basically sleeps around with all the girls, tosses them aside, and just doesn't care about them anymore. And some of them get attached. And that's the whole enemies to lovers. But in this book, he happens to move in the apartment. Basically, he's her new neighbor. And she's really pissed about that. She's like, this is my safe space. You know, I live out of campus. And you just basically move besides me. Like, what happened? But there comes also a fake dating in here. Why? Because Shane's ex comes to visit him. He wants to show her that he's doing really great because she is. And her ex is kind of cray-cray. So she needs somebody like to back her up. And they start this whole fake relationship. And if you've read this, you know, chapter 36. I'm just going to say that chapter shocked me, and I cannot wait for the next book of this. Amazing books. Like, I'm so happy. These books are amazing. But I wanted to kind of keep this video short and not overwhelm you with so many recs. But these are the books that I recommend for the trope enemies to lovers. Let me know which trope you want me to give you recommendations. And if you want a different type, I don't know, like genre, not only romance, but maybe fantasy or romantasy, which is what I read. Also, let me know. And I've been wanting to do this for the longest time ever, and I'm so happy that I did. And like I said at the beginning, check out trigger warnings for all of these books. Some of them have really triggering subjects, so it's at your own risk. But yeah, that will be all for today's video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video, guys. Bye.